Imagine going to the ATM to withdraw $40 from your bank account, only to later realize that 960 vanished. And it's all because of superglue? This is a sad reality for several people around the world. And what's even worse than this is the bank's response. Stay tuned to this video because I'm going to tell you how hackers are using superglue to steal your bank account information and how you can avoid being the next victim. Hey cyber heroes, welcome back to my channel. I'm Boyd Clues, internationally recognized cybersecurity expert. And today we are going to be talking about the new scam that hackers are using to drain bank accounts faster than an Android phone after a 30-minute conversation. Team iPhone. Before we get started, guys, go ahead and like this video and consider subscribing to the channel because this information is going to protect your money and is going to blow you away. So here's what happened. Several people in California had actually called their bank to report unauthorized transactions at an ATM that they'd actually used. And what is so surprising is the bank's response. But before we get to the bank's response, I'm going to break down exactly how this attack happened. So one of the people that was a victim of the scammer actually told ABC News this is exactly what happened. They walked up to an ATM and they tried to put their card into the slot and it didn't work. And a kind stranger actually advised them, hey, you got one of those new cards, right? Of course you do. Why don't you just tap your card on the ATM and use that feature? And sure enough, the lady, she taps her card on the ATM, she puts in her PIN, she withdraws her $40, she thanks the man, and he's like, no, thank you, and goes on about her business. And while she's at home checking her online account, because you know, sometimes people are crazy about the money, they want to check it every 5 minutes, she noticed that it wasn't just the $40 that was withdrawn, it was an additional 960. And that's when she called the bank. This specific bank happened to be Chase. And what they did was they said, we ain't giving your money back, fam. You authorized that transaction. Can you believe that, guys? But seriously though, let me know in the comments. Have you had to fight the bank to get your money back for a purchase that you know you didn't make? I ain't talking to people that be scheming out there. I'm talking about legitimate. Let me know in the comments. As a payment security specialist, I wholeheartedly can believe it. Why? And this is why I have been preaching for years and advocating, do not use a debit card. Do not use a debit card anywhere, especially at the gas pumps or ATMs. Use a credit card whenever possible. Credit, you will get your money back. Debit cards, they will fight you tooth and nail. Anyway, so I'm going to break down exactly what this attack looked like. So first of all, what the attacker would do is they would take super glue to seal the slot where you would put in the card, which would then prompt the person to have to use the tap. But most people aren't automatically thinking about using that tap feature, which is why the second part of the attack requires social engineering. You see, that person, that stranger that we were talking about that advised the lady to use that tap feature at the ATM was actually the person that glued the ATM door shut. And it's by design. By telling that person to use the tap feature, it unlocks an additional functionality that maybe you are not aware of. Ordinarily, whenever you go to an ATM, you put your card in and you put in your PIN to get money back. It asks you, after you finish that transaction, do you want to do something else? And most people just walk off because we know if you say yes, it's going to ask you for your PIN. But here is the challenge, guys. When you use the tap feature, it does not re-authenticate you. It does not ask you for your PIN again. Therefore, when the people walk away from the ATM, they are then leaving their sessions open, allowing the scammer to come right in and take the money out of their bank account as much as they want. This is utterly ridiculous. And so the challenge with this is when it comes to fraud disputes with banks, having someone use a PIN, considering the person that had their money stolen did actually approve the charge because they used their PIN. So it is very difficult to actually fight this type of fraud because in reality, you authorized the transaction in the bank's eyes. However, it wasn't until ABC got a hold of this news story that Chase finally reversed the decision and give the people their money back that was stolen. But here's what I want you all to understand. Using contactless payments are actually quite secure. The problem is the functionality within the ATM system itself. So I'm going to give you a couple things that you should definitely do to make sure that you are not on one of these hackers lists. Number one, if the ATM slot doesn't work, don't use the ATM. Don't use the tap feature. Number two, if you happen to use the tap feature, make sure that you close out that session entirely. Number three, do not use an ATM with weirdos around. Stranger danger is real, y'all. You don't know who's there and what they're doing. They could bop you over the head after you get your money. Don't do it. Don't do it. And number four, trust your gut. If you feel uneasy about an ATM, a location, or people around you, just keep it moving. Trust your instincts. So as a payment security professional, this is why the PCI DSS compliant framework exists. Requirement 9 requires companies to perform periodic inspections of payment devices for tampering or substitution. So to think about this requirement, it may not have prevented this specific issue, but eventually it would have uncovered it. More now than ever, it is important to be hyper vigilant about where you are putting your personal information, your payment data, especially your credit and debit cards, to make sure that you are not the latest victim of a scammer. And if you want to learn more information about how to protect yourself, more things about cybersecurity, I advise you as your security advisor to like this video, subscribe to this channel so that you're notified whenever I drop new tips about career advice as well as cybersecurity tricks, hacks, so that you can take full advantage of all the resources to maximize your career as well as protect yourself in this digital landscape. Well guys, that's it for this video. I will see you on the next one. Peace.